opportunity, and I will not overreact when I say that, to speak with a really incredible guy, Serge Kuznetsov. Serge, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for responding on my call.
It is a great pleasure, as always. Thank you for inviting.
I usually love to make a big introduction and to become boring in one moment with talking about the people who are guests, but today I want to do it different. How would you describe Serge Kuznetsov? I know the people are interacting with you. Many of viewers of this podcast are probably daily interacting, engaging with you, reading your tweets. But if you need to do it in 2 or 3 sentences, how would you do it?
It's one of the hardest questions, to be honest. Like in 2 or 3 questions and 2 or 3 sentences.
I always say I'm a deacon, and then I stop.
I'm trying to be the guy who is helping somebody to become a better person. So in life, in business, like learning new stuff, because I'm really curious guy. Probably that's the main thing about me. I really love learning something new. I really love launching new businesses and learning new stuff. And I'm trying to share it is also with the audience. So my main idea and my main motto is actually help them to become better person, better businessman, better entrepreneur, like not to do the same mistakes I did, because it's pretty painful, Even if you can help to do that, I would be happy to do that. So that's probably who I am in short.
Thank you. I think that we are speaking here basically about the niche, because every day when I am watching the people on the timeline, I have that impression, which is funny, sort of funny, that everyone is trying to make their dreams or act on X. I will not say that the other name we left a few weeks ago. And everyone's trying to represent them as guru of a sort, as a authority in the field. And at one point, I really had the impression that we only have authorities on our timeline, only have experts and successful people, and in reality, there is no one else left. Like in a Web3 in 2021, you had that funny situation when only the janitor from Disney wasn't working or involved in some kind of the NFT or the Web3 project. And now I have the similar impression in X, that when I get up in the morning, say GM, it's really a huge crowd of the successful businessmen, of the company owners, agency owners,
working only 2 hours.
Only 2 hours.
Having $100 million per week and so on and so forth.
Eating only avocado for a brunch.
Sleeping
and
20 hours a day.
Yeah. How do you learn? How do you learn to recognize genuine people, and how is important for people who are watching this and who are probably trying to make their plans true and to learn as much as they can of the practical things and turn it into the reality, how to advise them to recognize and validate the people who are legit and who can really help them talk among the many people who are just repeating the same mantra and trying to sell them something which they can do really, really, really good in specific situations. So what is your advice on this point?
It's a good question, because from one point, I really love X or Twitter for the format, because it's only short form format. Well, right now we can write long formats as well, but still a lot of short formats. And based on the short formats, it's really hard to judge like the depth of the knowledge. It's like a lot of platitudes, still very good platitudes. Yeah, sometimes you read it like, yes, it's genius, but how deep is the person? It's really hard to judge, and that's probably one of the problems we have. So we're trying to judge the person by the amount of the followers, which is also not really correct, because you can purchase followers, you can, do like some promotions or whatever. So like not really And also you can do like giveaways and also boost your audience pretty fast, and a lot of different other options. So it's really hard to judge. So what I suggest to do is actually, well, first of all, it's about authenticity. So for me, if I love reading it, and of course you start to interact with the person, so you start writing him like some feedbacks, replies on the threads, because the threads is probably the medium which help you to learn better about the person, about the experience, etc. So I love threads, to be honest. I really love it. Because in just, well, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can learn very big subjects. And that's amazing. I think that's one of the best parts about Twitter, because nowhere else you can learn something, at least, of course, on some basic level, but to get the idea about something just in a thread. It's incredible. I mean, it's like reading a book in a short form to understand, do you like it or not? And when you start to interact with the person, for me, it's really important also to get like, some personal touch. So do I like to interact with this person? Do I like to talk with him? Will I be happy to meet with this person and drink a beer together and talk about this subject? So for me, it's something like meeting with a real person in real life. So it's pretty similar. If I love what he's talking about, if I share the same principles, if I share with the same thoughts, same
Values,
I forgot.
basically. Yeah,
Values,
yeah,
absolutely. You
yeah.
got it. Yeah, values. So first of all, for me, it's pretty crucial to start from the values. Yes, if we have similar values, we already can talk. Because if we do not have similar values, it's not possible to talk at all, because we see the world pretty differently. So yes, first of all, definitely to fine tune your values with the person. So if you're in same line, that's like the first point to be together with this person, to interact with it, to learn from it. Because if not, you can harm yourself much more than you learn. So, like for example, for me, things like fast money, earn fast, do something, like launch NFTs and sell thousands, and no matter what happened afterwards, it's not what I want to do actually, in my personal life, in my business life. Because for me, it's really important to like in Chinese people, yes, to save your face, to save your like your not avatar, but like being a person and taking responsibility of who you are, what you talk about, and so on and so forth. So for me, it's really important. So if I
It's really.
commit to something,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, man.
I just thought this was great. I was thinking yesterday, like, or people enter the Web3, and then we all have our avatars, Web3 identities and stuff. And at one point, it was beautiful to be into the Web3 because you could really make, when people say I'm building something in Web3 and then launch the PFP collection, sell it for a lot of money. And that was a paradox of a sort, which brought us to the bear market. Partially, it's our responsibility. But what I want to say now, we have the shift into the interest of people, because all people with a, let's say, entrepreneurship mind, and people, we're speaking about the different generations onto the Web3, they also the opportunity to start a business into the Web3. We had that terrible Web3 bubble when the companies went to zero basically in a half a year, and all these people were active behind their PVPs because that was a trend. And now we have that shift to the more business talks, more talks about how to launch the startup. I love to say it's like basically a educational startup niche genre, something like that. And the Web3 population is in a problem because there are relevant speakers from the other industries, from a business, from I don't know, university, journalists, writers, the people who were never basically into the Web3 are now into the focus and interest of the Web3 community, because they will tell us how to grow, how to build our skills, how to do something. And these guys, when they see shiny pictures and everything, I think they are not just reacting so open like they would do I was once went viral on the Elon Musk's comment when I was replying something to him, not really viral, like 20, 30 thousands of impressions, that much more
It's
than
good.
usually.
Mhm.
And many people wrote me, dude, who are you? I mean, you're having NFT as PFS profile picture. Come on, what do you know about anything? That's what
You're not
people
from the
think.
real world.
Yeah, you're not from the real world. What the hell are you doing? And this is what the people think about us. So when you say about the importance to have your name and to stand out in front of the crowd and say, okay, I may love Web3. I have a Web3 PFP. I will never change it, probably because it has complete different meaning from everything I made on the crypto Twitter, or however we are calling it now, crypto X. That sounds like a scam. And
Even more, yeah.
and but you really need to go out in front of the people and tell them, this is my name, this is my profession, this is my background. If I am expecting you to learn from me, to eventually give me the money, you really need to know who am I. And that's normal, even in real life. Sorry for this interruption. I just wanted to
No.
hold on a bit on this, because I really think it's important to explain people that Web3 wasn't a magic land, it wasn't a wonderland, it was just another context where people needed to do the things like they do into the Web2 or in real life, however we call this. And that didn't happen, and we are here. Where are we now? It doesn't mean it will not be good
I
again.
think when the market was like hyping and growing very fast, there was a lot of creators who came there only for money, for quick money. And I think the majority actually did that. And right now, when the market is on downturn, actually who are here are the real creators, who are not about the money, but about building something new, building community, building something they believe in. And actually, right now, I love this space much more. When you communicate with the people, when you talk with them, when you participate in uh, Twitter Spaces. I mean, it's an amazing unity. The people are suffering, of course. It's not the perfect timing, because I was trying to fundraise during last year, and it was damn hard. Even though we have payment, like it's not an MVP. We already have working product. We was doing pitches every single day for 1 year. It was crazy, and I can understand like how tough it is for a lot of people here. So yeah, only those who really believe it and love it can remain right now. And I think that's a very good point. When something really meaningful will emerge, some really good projects, some really good products and people. So, and the same thing about the market itself. I mean the businesses, because right now is also downturn, and a lot of very interesting companies like growing. Especially once again on a downturn, it's really hard to get investments because, well, the people are not ready to pay you just because I have an idea about NFTs or Web3 and that's it. And like, give me the money. I'm sorry, man. What is the traction? Who are your customers? What is your like economy and so on and so forth? So nobody will pay you a single dollar without that. And this is a good point when people realize that it's, well, to build something, either you have to believe in it like full-heartedly or do something really meaningful and needed for the people. So I think it's very good transition. Tough for a lot of people, definitely, but really good for the market itself. So it will wash out all the the crappy things, and only good will remain.
It starts to self-regulate. I mean, the shift into the interests of people is significant. People, nobody talks anymore about not that much, of course, whitelists, giveaways. There is a giveaway thing really don't work anymore if people finally realize that. But I will not be. I don't want to speak a lot about this. the 2021 advertising mechanisms, the ambitions, the goals, it is completely abandoned, and that's great.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
at this moment, I'm not even sure do people need advertising to do something. I mean, if they're building, I'm speaking about the Web3 NFTs and stuff. So every collection I saw that really sold out and that made the community was actually the collection that provided the experience.
Absolutely.
They were connected with their people, good storytelling, because
Absolutely.
people are not expecting anymore 1 million overnight from the Web3.
Of course.
They're
Buy
buying
and
it.
sell 10
Yeah,
times X.
they,
No,
they're
it will not
they're
happen.
they're not buying what they love, and that's a lot smaller market than we love to
True.
remember.
True.
But that's,
True.
and people are shifting that interest, trying to think more business oriented, project oriented, and I think that's perfect. And I think you are perfect to say a few words with that, if we have in mind what do you guys have built, and at what moment of the market, let's say, evolution with the INC.io.
Sure.
I will just
We'll
go
be happy.
shortly. I saw that you shared a few weeks ago that you really approached a significant and important milestone, actually achieved it.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful because that milestone you really was open with. I think I will not make it wrong if I say 2 millions into the transactions and
Yes.
10Ks into the net
Monthly.
revenue. And I was
Exactly.
laughing,
Yeah.
like, because I know how much that is to handle a
Yeah.
team, to do a fundraising, and then to draw on that line. I say, hey, we have 10Ks of net revenue. And then I ask myself, what would significant Web3 lover said when someone tell him, hey, we got 10K? He will said, what? No million, no 2 millions.
I,
Like, what's wrong with
I
you?
will
What's that?
sell two NFTs for this money.
I will
What the
sell
fuck?
2 JPEGs. Why are you speaking about this? What's wrong with you? And can you
Yeah, that's
explain
true.
to people a little bit of this? Not explain, but let's talk a bit about how it is important to learn young people and to educate basically all people who are entering the business, how hard it is in real life to earn $1,000, and what really
Uh,
means when you say you earned $1,000, how much you need really to invest yourself and your time and the teamwork and everything else behind that. And maybe you can share a bit about really hard experience you had with the INC in order
mhm.
to create this market position you have right now. And you guys have the opportunity basically to become a payment processor for the crypto, which is something that you already are actually. And if anything happens, in terms of the market and everything, you're still waiting your opportunity. But it's
Yeah,
super interesting, so please share as much as you can.
yeah, sure, sure. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah, it was very interesting journey. We pivoted a lot. Pivoted, I mean. Like we started initially the idea was to create the actually recurring payment gateway just for Web3. So it was the initial idea. We started to do the customer development, meeting with a lot of potential customers from Web3, from crypto space. So I have like hundreds of talks with the different people, with the different opinions. Even we was thinking about doing our token. So do we need to do that or not? Like what's pros and cons? And it was very interesting because several guys who did it told us, forget about it, just not to go there at all, because otherwise you will spend like half of your time talking with the people who bought your tokens and not working on a product. So like trying to hear them, trying to please them. So guys, focus on the product. It's not that relevant, and you will not earn millions anymore. Different timings, different perspectives, and you should bring some value. So we was trying to understand like what value we can bring with this token, and actually we couldn't find any, to be honest. So it was senseless to do that, and thank God we did it. We didn't went this road. I mean, we also pivoted a lot of ideas. Like we was thinking about where we moved to, like if it will be a subscription based model, and then we realized first of all that there are several competitors who are building the product and they own it like alpha stage, so there is no real products there. we also realized that the market is not very big, and we try to, because initially what you have to do, you have to utilize everything you have. Like you have to use all leverages, all the connections, all the network, everything you have, especially when you have zero investments, you have only your own money and money on your like partners. So we had a business previously in like in hosting services, and we started to pivot this, like, because we realized that in hosting services there is like at least 20 to 40% of turnover is in crypto. So the people are like okay in paying crypto for services of the hosting services basically. So we started to pivot in the Web2 space, like giving Web2 companies options to be paid in crypto. And I think this was a very important step because, first of all, we have a huge experience there. We have a very good network. We have a lot of connections, previous customers, and so on and so forth. So we used it. And then, market started to collapse. FTX crash, like, and it is at the parallel. I was trying to fundraise. It was very funny when you talk with the people in US and they hear the word crypto, like, what the fuck are you're doing the business in crypto? Why we call it? And I was like, you confirmed the call. What are you asking me? It
No,
was
no, no,
very
but
funny.
that was really a roller coaster. I mean, when
Ah,
FTX happened, and I can really imagine how was it to do everything. Like you're thinking you have a control in one moment, you have a
very funny.
plans.
It was very funny. I mean, it wasn't funny at all, of course. But we initially we actually on the some point we after a lot of talks with the investors, with the customers, we realized that we can really build a good product for Web2 companies. First of all, like to build them the product which would be easy to use, which will be customized for them, pretty simple, pretty transparent. We will do everything with which they want to have, APIs and everything working smoothly and perfectly. So as usually, as you have the first clients on board, you have to please them like 100%, 200%, because that's the only one paying customer. You have to do it like perfectly. And after you did it very well with one customer, it's much easier to scale to second, third, and so on and so forth. In parallel, we was discovering different niches like advertising networks, like affiliates, etc. So the guys who also have to pay a lot to the different countries, to the different companies, and they also was interested in paying in crypto. So we actually, yes, hunted several pretty big guys and started to develop especially for them, so some kind of customized solution. The idea is, so they have payments in crypto, but they are audited by Big Four. So they don't want to show crypto because unfortunately there is like not a very good thoughts about crypto in general. So what we did, we actually created the flow when they get the crypto, we convert it automatically to the fiat and put the money on their bank account in fiat. So in every, for example, every Sunday or every Tuesday, we send them the money on the bank account with all statements, like everything they require in terms of accounting, in terms of legal part, things, etc. And they was really happy with the solution because it's very simple, very easy to use. There is no touch of crypto for the auditors. So, and this was another pivot which helped us to grow like exponentially. And basically, the idea is you test, you talked with the client, with you work in this case. It's not really, you also can look for the competitors, what they're doing, like especially the good ones, but usually the when you talk to the customers, it's much more reliable, especially if they are ready to pay you, if they're ready to work with you, because the development time take us, I think, for particularly this solution was around 3 months, I think, in total, with all requirements, with all things included, etc. So it was very interesting journey. It's and still it is. Of course, we have a lot of like requests we have of mass payouts through the APIs, like what exactly how it should work. Should it work from through the IP? How it should be working? Like how it should be sent? What details? And so a lot of like background work of architecture of security, because security in crypto and in fintech is crucial. So you have to think also about like how to be sure that your money will be safe, because well, basically it's transaction based model, so you earn very little. So if it would be stolen, it's a disaster for you. So like you have thousands of dollars of your clients, but you earn only 1% of these thousands of dollars. So if it would be stolen, for you it would be like a disaster. So like
Yeah,
100 times more you have to earn to return it back. So it's so security issues are very critical here. So we developed a lot of interesting ideas of like cold warm wallets when we distributed the funds, and so on and so forth. So not to keep too much in the active accounts. So there is a lot of like applications, implications. We was hacked several times, so it's also good learning. You
oh,
know,
congratulations.
yeah, unfortunately, if you're working in the crypto space, actually, in any fintech, the same thing. So in regular money, it's completely the same. So they also been hacked, like frauds and a lot
Yeah,
of.
it's something that just happens. It's really
Absolutely.
impossible to avoid.
If you will look on this as a possibility to learn and to improve yourself and your product, is actually helping a lot. Because if you will like get depressed by, oh, I was hacked, oh shit, what should I do? Then well, it's
Yeah.
there. So yeah, it's a very good lessons always. So I think you know the main. So if I was talking too much about it, so if we're trying to like to point out the most important part, so first of all, pivot as much as possible, talk to your customers, learn what they want, how should it be working, what they was using previously, what was good, was not. So to understand what solution can you provide, so you should stand out. And usually you are much faster than the big competitors because they slow, they usually do not care too much about the customers, so you have a very good advantage in front of them to do something better, quicker, more customized, more easy to use for customers. So some fine tuning sometimes helps a lot in this case. Second thing, of course, it's the team. So I think the team is the most crucial and important part. So especially from the very beginning, when you're starting the business, the guy like co-founders, founders with whom you're starting to build a business, I like the quote of Naval Ravikant, like, you know, when you're choosing this person, it's the same as like choosing your wife. And if you're ready to go
Hmm.
for 10 years with this person, you're ready to go. If not, better not to begin. And that's really so, because you spend majority of your time at job, at businesses and startups, because you know this interesting idea of working 3 hours daily and earning thousands and millions of dollars sounds really good. It will someday happen with you, but on the very beginning you will be working 10 times more. Like 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, especially on the early stages. And that's a very important part, because you know I got the feeling that right now a lot of people think that if you start your business, you will earn a lot very fast and you shouldn't be working too much. But it's completely opposite. You'll be working much more. You will have full responsibility, and there is not a big chance of winning, to be honest. So you have to be ready to suck, to fail a lot during the road. So for example, even when we planned to fundraise, the worst case scenario was half a year, but it was a year. Of
Hmm.
course, everything happened not in our favor.
Yeah,
The
but
market,
no, guys, really everything happened. I mean,
everything happened which shouldn't happen. Yeah, that's true. So the worst possible scenario is happened to us. So like everything, The market collapsed, biggest players collapsed, regulations starting to toughen a lot. So a lot of things happens, and still we raised. So I mean, it took us 2 times more and 20 times more effort to do that, but we did it. So here is also why I think it's really crucial to start something you'll really love doing, because if we didn't love what we're doing, we will quit in the middle. Like it's just not possible. You just, when it's fucked up like 20 times in a row, if you don't like what you do, it's just not possible to continue doing that. It's just not possible. So simple as that. And your another question was about the turnovers and revenues. So because it depends on the model. So for example, in SaaS model, you earn everything. So all the money which comes in is yours. So in this case, like it could be $100 or $10 per subscription, and all the money is yours. But if it's transaction based, it's much more stable. So there is some advantages of transaction based, that when the person start to use your tools, they will very rarely change it. So as you onboarded them, there is a very high probability they will continue using it. So in terms of lifetime value, transaction-based business is much better than SaaS model. But you will earn very, very little, like 1, 2, 3% if you're really happy. So yes, it's like it will grow much less in terms of like revenues, net revenues, but in the long run, it will be much more stable. So it's like you will not earn millions in the first 2 years, like 100%. But in 3, 5, 10 years time, you will earn a lot, and it will be like continuously growing. So yes, we have a turnover of $2 million, even 2.5 right now, and around like 15K net revenues. So which is like 2.5 million and just 15.
And we can go on lunch.
Yeah. No, we can't actually.
No, the story is great. Why I think that is really important for us many people to hear this, because you're basically breaking the two fake pictures that people get when they think about this. We have a problem. I'm not speaking only into the Web3. I will speak about the space as a category where definitely there is a form community that is sensible to the crypto, Web3 technology and business, so that integrates somewhere. People don't put attention into the product development phase, and I had really big conversations with the people from the crypto, and they were thinking that I have something against them when I try to explain them that you can't make an idea by yourself. The ideation process is the most dangerous process, because if you don't kill your idea, your client will kill your idea. And in most scenarios, clients don't kill ideas, but the market kill ideas. And when the market kills the idea, that's the worst thing that can happen to you. I mean, that's the game over. I mean, and you guys practically analyzed your idea, and your idea was based basically on a previous experience with the hosting. So it's extremely important to use real use case scenarios, real case studies, real experience. I mean, we can call this business intelligence.
Also much easier.
To make small advantages. No, there are no genius ideas. There are no revolutionary ideas anymore. And
I would argue here a bit, because it also might be some crazy idea, but you have to verify it. So you really have
agree
to
with that. Yeah.
client, and if they're ready to pay, no problem. Go forward like full speed. But if you do not verify it, because that's how I like lost my at least $200,000, because I got a great idea. I thought it was a great idea. You know, I wasn't speaking to customers. I was so in love with my idea that I was building it, trying to sell it, like for half a year, spent all my money and even took a lot of credits, and it was zero. Well, of course it was some sales, but I mean, not comparable to what what I was spending. And that's the worst case scenario. Like when the market is telling you, man, you're doing bullshit. We don't want to buy it. And you're like, what the hell?
Who are promoting and basically actively talk about the AI. Now, I had a personal dilemma when everything happened, and when I think it happened basically in the November or October last year, when the Chat GPT gets on the stage in a big light. People were so optimistic about the AI, and on the other hand, the people try to criticize it. What I think at that moment is that it's a great opportunity to optimize the processes and to make the life easier. I think you will agree on that you're speaking about a similar thing, but with the difference that you got much deeper into that, and you find a way to provide the direct value to your readers, to cut all that crap around, like you could do this, use this service, use a million service, and go in that plug-in hell into the sense of AI. Can you tell us more about that? What are you doing in that newsletter, and how come that you get a really big amount of the subscribers in a short term? You just started, but people already are recognizing it.
Well, not that fast as you would like to, like you would like to become like a millionaire in the next day. But yes, it's like progress always is much slower on the first stage. So actually, I was really curious about AI. I was a bit slow because actually I'm a I'm a tech guy. I'm a crazy guy. I'm like learn everything new. I am adapt. I buy new stuff. So as soon as Elon will launch like Neuralink, I will plug into my head and test it. But I was a bit slow with AI, to be honest. So I was like trying it, but not very seriously. So, and recently, like I think around like half a year ago, I started to try it and to implement it. Especially, I was talking about fundraising process. So, and actually customer developments. And if you did it at least once, I mean, customer development, you have to prepare at least half an hour before. Then you have to conduct the interview. It's around 30 minutes to hour. And then you have to write down the conclusions, which will take you roughly 1.5 hours more. So it's like instead of 1 hour of just speaking with the guy, you will spend at least 2 more hours to interpret it, to write down the findings, and so on and so forth. It's crazy. I mean, it's really crazy. And what actually I come to that if you will put it in the right way, and if you will put all the texts of transcripts from the interview to the chat GPT or any analogs, it can give you a very good summary. It will give you very good like findings, and it can even rank it by the importance to your business, and it will save you at least half of your time, at least. And that's crazy. I mean, I started to use it in all our meetings because we have weekly meetings, we have dev meetings, we have like brainstorming sessions, and it helped me to save at least twice of my time, because of course you as like a founder, co-founder of executive or like product manager, doesn't matter, managerial position, you have to spend a lot of time managing people, not just doing like stupid work which can be done by somebody else. But if you do not have somebody else, you have to do it by yourself.
You have to do it, yeah.
A lot of time on this. And as soon as I started to use AI, it actually allowed me to free at least 20 to 30% of my time. And it was incredible. I was like, how is that possible at all? And the more you dive into this, the more you learn, the more you understand how much it can be done with it. And actually, it's like, it's like Alice going to the rabbit hole. And the deeper you are in, the deeper you're like, damn, man, it's a new breed world. And it's really so. It's incredible. So that's how I started. And another point, which I really hate, like these posts and these threads, like 100 prompts for your business, thousands best tools of AI to boost your progress, thousands boost, and you're like, what the fuck? How can I even look on these tools? Because I do not have enough time. Even just to open this app to test it, I can do it like 3 maximum, but they send it tens and tens every single day. And I really hate this. I really like, you need only one tool. which you can implement. You do not need this fucking 100 tools because
Yeah.
what for? And the worst thing that majority of them are not working at all. You will run it, you will start to use it. Either they have a paywall, so you have to pay, and usually it's also crap because you already paid. Okay, it's just $10. You think, okay, I will test it. It's not working properly, but okay, it's just $10. So even if it is a paywall, in 95%, it's crap. It's not working at all. And so among these thousands of tools, only 1, 2, 3 will be working properly. So we're thinking, I'm as a founder, I want only one tool which I can use now. So why couldn't I do this for other founders or for our business owners, for executives, just to show them one application, one use case, or one tool which can be applied right now without hesitation, without spending too much time on researching, just copy, paste, use. That's it. So that was the point of my newsletter, just to show only one single thing to test. That's it, weekly. So that's what I trying to promote, because I'm really, I just put myself on the place of the guys who are trying to understand what the hell is happening in this crazy world of AI and what to do with this, because you're overwhelmed with the possibility, and you feel your FOMO effect, like something happening around and you have no idea what to do, and like what to do, what to do, like thousands of things. You save it to Notion, you save it everywhere, but you have
What
no
to do
time
with that? Yes, yes,
like
yes.
£6,000 for marketing, but if you test it, majority of them is really bullshit. I mean,
Mhm.
nonsense. It gives you generic replies, it gives you generic feedbacks, and it's not working properly. So it's just a waste of time. So we also started to craft very deep prompts, like 8-step prompts, which gives you like tremendous amount of data, research, and so on. So the more you put in, um, like context, data, the better results would be. And that's the main problem right now we have, because all the prompts and all the things which are done, they're very generic. Like, draw me something good, like you asking for designers. I like, so it would be looking good. What the fuck is
Yeah.
that? Good.
Though in a terms of writing, people just started using it to write the blogs, to write the contracts, to write several things, but very few paid attention to train it, I will say, a little bit,
Absolutely.
or to
Yeah.
provide the more context. And when you really provide the more, even when you speak about the ChatGPT, I was testing it in a solution where it should write me different literature fragments. So basically, it was a task for a game quest. And when you really put the effort to provide it more context, more style and stuff, it will output the better results. Still, I think that the greatest potential is to learn to use it. I think that we train the AI or machine to learn, but we didn't train ourselves how to use it, and that's the biggest problem. Definitely. And people love to give $10, $20 to use the tools, but
Absolutely. To make
it
life
really,
easier,
yeah,
but
make life
it's
easier,
too
but
experts.
they're making it so
Absolutely.
there should be
Absolutely.
always a balance. Okay, let's we still cover one more topic. Uh, if
Actually,
we
I
have,
want to
yeah,
share one more thing, because I think it's crucial. It would looks like promo, but I really would like to share it, um, because when we was starting to dive into these AI tools, I have also my own concern and my own problems. My previous startups was failures due to the fact that I didn't do enough research. So I have a good products, I have good ideas, but I didn't do research. I didn't ask the real customers of like, do they really want it? How much do they want to pay? But the problem is, if you, for example, if you even go to Y Combinator startup school, um, you will learn only the basics, like the generic idea. You will got it, but when you try to execute it, you have no idea how to do it. I mean, they tell you, go to the customers and test it. But how the hell should I go and do that? So what are the real steps? So how can I ask the customers, because I have no idea how to do that? And Uh, Actually, that was the idea behind of even when I started to write. I was always thinking to do some type of course to help people to pass through this, not to do the same mistakes as I did, but I couldn't, find the right. Um, well, first of all, time, and second, I couldn't find the right way how to do that. And just like half a year ago, I met with a very interesting guy, and together we created the course. But the most important thing that we applied AI into it. So it's like the same as Y Combinator, but plus with AI, which will help you to ideate, to craft the right texts, to test the idea, to write to your customers, to create your ads, to create your unique value proposition, to prepare pitch deck, and so on and so forth. So it's actually pretty similar to Y Combinator, but with the practical tools actually to test it. So, and yeah, I'm just thrilled by the results, man. I mean, because we just finished the zero cohort and the replies are incredible. Because I feel that actually what we touched a new way of teaching, because it is kind of education tailored to you, because you give the feedback and the AI will provide you the replies based on your ideas, your requests. So it's completely customized to you, and that's incredible, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
it,
that's
it will
that's that that's super
revolutionize
amazing. Yeah,
it will revolutionize all the education, but still, the people do not get it. I got this feeling that it will be the boom of education within a half year. It will be crazy because, we have always this problem. So you learn something, but you do not know how to apply because there is so many possible ways of doing things, like millions actually, that AI can do this for you or help you to do that. And it's already working. We're already testing it, and it's incredible. I just wanted to share, man.
you're
I could
technically removing another pain point. Yeah, but that's another pain point removed because people don't want to think about how to use the AI. You're practically digesting them. You're helping them to use it the right way. So technically, maybe this is the approach that can point out to the new horizons in the future, not only in this field, but in the old fields. I see many people, I see actually many people are not ready to invest the time. And the time is
absolutely,
the ultimate resource when you're building something.
absolutely.
And the expectations, what they want to achieve, and what they are ready to invest are not always into the balance. So I think this kind of the innovations or innovative approaches would definitely mean more. Not to mention probably the fact that this kind of education is more efficient because you can have it to respond on what you currently need and what are you actually working. But what is, and we can conclude with this question, what is the advice you would give to someone who is just starting to seeking his or her idea to build something? What would be the advice in order to find their way to grow and to make their plans into some kind of the product or anything else, service or stuff? Is it education? Is it patience? Is it learning everything you can, listening to the people who made something, or just to be crazy enough to follow their inner voice and analyze their own path? I
I
will
think
not say
actually
mistakes.
everything which you mentioned. Well, I wanted to say buy our course, but of
And
course,
buy our course.
of course, I'm kidding. I mean, that's a choice of every person. But in general, what I would really recommend is, of course, first of all, and the most important part is to test the idea, to talk with the real customers, but use it. There is like the book, which is pretty old, but still it's working pretty well. Mom's Test, and you need not to ask about your solution because the majority of people are doing the same mistake. So they're trying to sell their solution, especially to the friends and family, and they always got the good feedback because, well, come on, you're my son, and if you do some bullshit, I will even love you no matter what you're doing. So not it's senseless to ask this kind of questions. What you have to ask. You have to ask about the previous experience, because when the people are sharing previous experience, they're not lying. And based on the previous experience, based on the problems they faced, how do they solve it? How much did they pay it? And so on and so forth. You will get much more details, much more information, which you can use further on with your products. Second idea, and it's actually also in our course, to talk with other founders in this field, because it will give you a tremendous amount of insights, because the guys already been in this space. They already did something, and maybe they will tell you, man, go away. It's terrible market. It's like people are not ready to pay. The prices are like the price competition is crazy. So better not to enter it at all. So of course, it's not an easy task to talk to the people, because there is a lot of founders who are tech guys, who are introverts, and it could be very tough. But it's better to do that or find a co-founder who can talk. It's also a good idea to separate the roles. So one, if you're not able to do that, find the person who can fill this gap and help you to grow, because it will save you thousands of dollars, years of your time. And if the idea not worth to spend your time on, better to skip it and go on to another one. So you will not waste this year or two on the idea which will not be working. So the most important thing is to test your idea as much as possible before investing time and money into building the MVPs and going forward. So that's the most important lesson I learned by myself with the pain, money, and years. That's the most important part, I think.
So guys, you heard what Serge says, and I definitely would like to recommend everything he does. Definitely don't miss to check his profile, check the things he's working on, check the things he's offering. He definitely have something to show and tell, and definitely it would be valuable, which is most important at this moment. So when you're seeing something, try to stay as much as is possible open-minded and be acceptable for new knowledges, new experiences, and don't expect anything to happen overnight. Serge, thank you for being my guest. It really means a lot of me. I'm still testing, like you tested your concept. I'm still testing, will anybody will look this? God damn it. and so far, no, they were actually surprisingly nice reactions from the last episode. I hope this one will reach even more people. Thank you once again. Have a great rest of the weekend and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye. It was a pleasure.